What's up, guys? It's V Chief here, and welcome back to another FC26 video. Today, we are going to be reviewing the foot deep dive pitch notes that are letting us know all of the new features added to Ultimate Team in FC26. In yesterday's video, we took a look at the foot deep dive trailer video that EA released. So if you haven't watched that yet, make sure to check it out. But the pitch notes here go a little bit more in depth on tournaments, gauntlets, evolutions, and all the new things coming in FC26. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. So what is new this year? Number one, competitive gameplay. We're not going to look a ton at the gameplay stuff today because we did see that in the gameplay deep dive. Live events here, a new way to compete with varied match settings, entry requirements, and new formats like tournaments and gauntlets that I think are the biggest additions this year in FC26. Rivals and champs, no playoffs, direct qualification, bounties. Again, they go more in depth on all of this later. Foot match outcome improvements, essentially when people are quitting or disconnecting when you're tied. And then evolution updates like goalkeepers and repeatable evolutions. So let's dive in here, starting off with live events. Building on friendlies, live events are a new pillar of Foot's competitive structure designed to bring more variety in what you play in the squads you use throughout each season. So just that intro right there and kind of what tournaments and gauntlets are geared towards, I think is perfect for this game because how it's currently constructed in FC25 and FC24 is it felt very monotonous. It felt like, okay, I'm going to play a bunch of games to get my rivals done. I'm going to play my champs this weekend. And then what do I do now? Whereas now it's going to be I get a little bit of limited rivals games. I do my champs. Now I got to build my team up to play Gauntlet. There's a tournament this week. So there's a lot more depth to the game and different places to spend your time, which I think is really, really important. So, entry requirements here. To enter some live events, your squad may need to meet custom criteria. Requirements are intended to create a competitive layer of progression and can enable you to qualify for special locked live event, which may include completing an objective, reaching a rivals division, rarity club league, or nation count, which I like, player quality, chemistry, or position rules. And we'll get a little bit further into that when we see the gauntlet mode. But I think requirements like nation or league or anything like that, that encourages people to build a full club up and have different teams and options of players rather than just having like a first team and just having one god squad, I think is super, super important. And again, when we would get to the gauntlet stuff, we'll see that. But we said this in yesterday's video, these menus, it's not all that different, but this just looks so clean here. I absolutely love it. Custom rules and match settings. So they're going to be able to have match limits, solo or co-op only, which is very cool. And they'll be able to mix up the rules that you play with. Now, objective linking here. Rewards and your progression towards them are well known to friendlies fans, but often require you to jump across multiple menus to track your progress. Events are streamlining this for you, giving you direct access to claim what you earned without digging through the objectives menu. So this is awesome. Essentially, like if you had an objective that you could complete in Rivals and you got it done, instead of going to the objective menu and claiming it and then going back to the Rivals tab, it'll just pop up in this little subsection of whatever mode you're in. So you can claim objectives from anywhere rather than just going all the way back to the objectives tab, which is a small change, but I really, really like it. Matchmaking here. Matchmaking can be configured for each individual live event to use either per event win form, your match record in that specific live event only, or global win form, your match record across other global win form events. This is very interesting, and we'll get to it when we get to the tournament section here, because tournaments aren't based on win form. Tournaments are similar to draft in that you play somebody that is in the same round as you, no matter how good they are, how bad they are. If they're in the same round as you can play them, which I really, really like. New play menu here. The foot play menu has been reworked from the ground up in FC26 to make it easier to navigate, discover, and jump into your preferred modes, allowing you to not only see new and upcoming live events at a glance, but also their rewards. I think this is really nice. I saw a lot of people, again, I'm very complimentary of these menus. A lot of people have been saying they're the exact same, and I understand the layout is similar with the tabs at the top, but this is certainly not the same. It looks so clean. Redesigned menu used the following categories for, so there's going to be a For You tab showing you new things, continue playing, and upcoming. So showing future events in chronological order. It'll be interesting to see how far that goes out and especially how that impacts the market because say in the upcoming events thing, it says we're gonna have a One Nation Brazil tournament coming, and Brazil specials just go through the roof. So that upcoming tab could change the market a ton. Uh, let's see. Online here, we got all this junk, play versus CPU, play versus friends. So these are gonna be split up here. Is there like an online tab or something? I don't know. So online they'll have all this together. They'll have the single player stuff together, and then they'll have the play versus friends stuff together, which I really like. Streamline friendlies. So they've removed essentially the friendlies section or the online friendlies and they've put the live events section and then they have the friendly section. The friendly section now is strictly just like playing your friends rather than having live foot friendlies. All those live events and new modes are going to be in the live section now, which I really, really like. Now, tournaments are back. This is the biggest piece of FC 26. If you guys didn't play tournaments back in like FIFA 17 when you're playing for like team of the season, Sane, and cards like that, you missed out on tournaments because these are special. Tournaments bring a classic knockout format with new structures and a flexible schedule designed to appear at key moments rather than run every week or stay evergreen like rivals or champs. Full details on timing and rewards will be shared in the launch update pitch notes. So we're getting more pitch notes, which I love. I love these pitch notes. I think they're always super valuable, and people end up missing out on a lot of info when they don't go through these. So tournaments may include entry requirements and entry limits with refreshes. I like that. Each tournament brings its own rewards with different squad rules, fantastic, and setups across the season to keep things fresh. I am so excited for these tournaments. These interfaces again look fantastic. Now, Gauntlet. This is something I'm super excited about, not because, like we mentioned earlier, it's just a new game mode, but because of the club building requirement of it, which we'll get into here. Gauntlets are a new way to test your club depth and your ability across multiple matches. Each gauntlet consists of up to 5 matches. However, instead of using the same squad each match, you'll need to use a completely different squad for every match, including the entire subs bench. So again, this requires you to like, let me have my La Liga team that I have over here that I upgrade. Let me have my Prem team that I upgrade through EBOs and SBCs and whatnot and have these different squads that you can pick from, which is incredible. At launch, we'll kick things off with the Ultimate Gauntlet, featuring 3 rounds and running every 2 weeks to start. This is just the beginning with more details to come in our launch update. I love this, and they have mentioned that gauntlets can go up to 5 rounds, but will be starting the year with 3 rounds. Unlike tournaments, there's no elimination here, so that's how they kind of differ. You can keep playing through the full gauntlet regardless of results, but the more you win, the better the rewards. Simple enough. I'm so, so excited about this. And again, just having people play with different teams and acquire different players. And like for me, I typically just build a city past and present squad. And it's like, oh, it's an SBC that's not a city past and present player. Now that doesn't mean anything to me. Whereas now it's like, okay, that's a decent value card that can fit in my La Liga squad. We can do that. That makes sense for us, which I really, really like. And again, these menus, whew, those are good looking. FC Pro Live events, again, there's nothing really here. It's more just that like you can register through the menus. So if you're a really good player, maybe it's a little more convenient for you to get into those FC Pro events. Rivals revamp. Here we go. So with the new tournaments and gauntlets and whatnot, they're making some minor changes to rivals and champs to make things maybe less games in those, but more engaging. So Focus in FC 26 is bringing more fan requested changes to foot as we listen to your feedback on Rivals. 3 key themes from the past years. Too many matches to play. I mean, if you're getting rewarded, I don't see an issue with it, but okay. Once you've climbed the divisions and are consistently matched up against similarly skilled players, motivation to keep playing can taper off. Hitting a good run of form can leave you stranded in a higher division. We'll have more details on rivals matches and rewards closer to launch in the launch update pitch notes, but no, we hear you. So things they've changed, bounties. This is something I really, really like. These are essentially just objectives that are randomly triggered where you can get coins, packs, season XP, extra rivals points, whatever it may be for doing the objective. And some examples of these would be just score the first goal in your rivals game, score the last goal, win by 2 or more, keep a clean sheet, which I really like. It gives a reason to play rivals past just getting wins. It's like, okay, this game I have something additional I need to do. And something that I think is really cool is these duels, which are special bounties where you and the person you play have the exact same bounty and only one of you can win it. So say it's woo, score the first goal in your match. Only one of you is going to get that done. So you're both pushing to get that first goal. I really, really, really like the idea of this. So bounties, I think, are super, super cool. Limited checkpoints, they basically just readjusted the checkpoint system where, like, if you lose a bunch of games, you could go down without it, like, stopping you from going down. So the checkpoint thing, I don't think is that interesting, but it's something there. Champions and challengers here. This is a big one as well in terms of the gameplay modes. At times, qualifying for champions through playoffs was a tougher competition than Champions itself, while for our most skilled players, it was an extra skill check each week. So they have removed qualifiers entirely this year. Instead, you'll qualify directly for Champions by reaching a specific rivals division and collecting Champions qualification points. So let's say your division 1 through 4, if you're in those divisions at all you need to do is get your champs qualification points through rivals and you're in. There's no tournament to get into champs. There's no separate champs qualifiers where you got to win 3 out of 5 games. If you're in a high enough division, just get your points and you're in. And there will be more notes and more on that in the launch update pitch notes. And something that I've seen a lot of people saying here, which I really, really like, is there are now 15 different ranks for champs. So each win is an additional reward here. Whereas before, I think like 11 and 12 or 11 and 12 wins or 13 and 14 wins, they were the exact same reward. You'd get the same rank, which made no sense. So every win matters here, which I think is really important. And they have wins, losses remaining here, which I really like. Just cleaned this up. They gave us different ranks. And it looks like instead of like rank 1 through 15, it's like I'm 1 through 5 platinum here, or I'm 1 through 5 gold, or I'm 1 through 5 basic, or whatever it is here. So there's different tiers here as well, which I really like. So champs cleaned up a little bit in that regard. Challengers here. For players outside the top divisions, we've added challengers, a new tier of champions with its own format and rewards. This gives more players a chance to experience the champions feeling while keeping champions at the highest level of competition. So this will be similar to champs in that, like, if you're not in, say, divisions 1 through 4 and get champs rewards, if you're divisions 5 through 10, maybe you're a challengers player and you qualify for that. I think the big key with this for them is that, like, we need to make sure people are not intentionally smurfing down and going into challengers. The rewards need to be not very good, in my opinion. They need to be pretty disappointing. And from what I saw from the Foot Accountant and Foot Economist, is that Challengers is also going to be less games. So say Champs is 15 games, Challengers might be 5 games, and say you could get like, I don't know, a mega pack if you win 3 out of your 5 Challengers games. So there needs to be a reason for people to go for Champs. So Challengers here are a good option for people that aren't as good at the game. So competitive gameplay here. Again, we hit a lot on this in some past videos going over the gameplay deep dive, but it's essentially going to be quicker, more responsive, one frame passing. There's going to be fewer keeper rebound goals and tackles bouncing back to opponents. There's going to be adjusted player stamina, which I'm excited about, and just more responsive overall. It's going to be more fast paced. So that's what I'm excited about there. If you want to see more in the gameplay deep dive and things like that, make sure to check out those last videos. We go really in depth on that stuff. And then updated match outcomes in Foot Ultimate Team. Again, this is essentially just based around people disconnecting when you're tied because it's so frustrating when people quit at 1-1 and you don't get a win. So What this means is when certain conditions are met, you'll get the win when the scoreline is a draw. What are these conditions? We're still finalizing what those conditions will be, but similar to how this worked in FC 25, there'll be a limit on the number of times a player is able to receive a win from this each day. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. It kind of limits people from cheating, as well as set conditions within the match itself that would need to be met. We will communicate the specifics around those conditions closer to launch. Okay, so not much there. It's more just like they're still figuring out how they want to deliver us wins when somebody quits when we're drawing. Easy enough. Rush match outcomes. I think all they say here is when people quit multiple rush matches in a row, without getting to the end of the match, they'll be kicked out of matchmaking temporarily, which you see in things like Rocket League, COD, that like if you're quitting games early, you're going to get a matchmaking ban for like 2 hours, 15 minutes, whatever it may be. And that's not finalized. We'll see it in the launch update pitch notes. A lot of stuff coming in those pitch notes, which I'm excited about. So make sure to subscribe so you can see that video as well. Goalkeeper, repeatable evolutions, and cosmetic upgrades. Yes, goalkeeper evos are coming to FC 26. We're also making additional changes that give you more freedom and clearer progression as you build your football ultimate team. There we go. Repeatable evolutions give you more flexibility, with some able to be completed multiple times, similar to select SBCs or objectives. Most will be limited repeatable, meaning they can be completed a set number of times, allowing you to apply them to multiple player items or even use them again on the same player item if eligible, which I think is very, very cool. Takes the pressure off making the perfect choice right away, gives you more freedom to shape your squad your way. This also kind of ties into the gauntlet as well. Like if a center back Evo comes out, I could upgrade a guy in my Prem team. I could upgrade a guy in my La Liga team. I could upgrade my Prem guy twice. It gives you a lot of different options here, which I really like. Cosmetic stacking and rarity layers. You can now evolve players without changing their item design, unless a specific evolution changes the rarity. Okay, I like this. So you can kind of pick the design you want. Evolution status is marked with new badging that can also be used in squad requirements, making it easier to track and build around evolved players in live events and Rush. So is that mean there is no green evolution thing now? Like design, you just get this little badge on them. So this is like a guy you're actively evoing, and this is a guy that you have evoed, which is very interesting. Cosmetic upgrades now stack as well, and you can preview them, which I really like. When you're doing an evo and you can't preview if it's going to change the cosmetics of your card, I think that's really frustrating. Or like you apply the FC Pro badge to a card and then you evo them a week later and you lose that is really frustrating. So the fact they've adjusted that, I think, is fantastic. Graduated transfer market access. How is this going to impact us trading early on? That is the question. So this says right here, transfer market. Find your next club edition through the. It just says locked there. Okay. Graduated access, which limits some accounts' access to the transfer market when they first access foot. Okay. If you're a returning foot player on the same platform and your account meets the requirements and is in good standing, you have immediate access. So not something we need to worry about. If you're a new player or your account did not meet the requirements, a series of foundation objectives will grant transfer market access once they have been completed in a period of time have passed. So this is essentially just a way to limit cheaters from making a bunch of accounts, selling coins, whatever it may be. Limiting transfer market access for new accounts helps protect the economy from potential rules breaking activity. Easy enough. Objectives here. Previously, you would have to navigate to objectives in order to find available objectives and their rewards. I feel like they kind of hit on this earlier. Relevant objectives will be viewable while highlighting each game mode. Again, I really like this because you don't have to scroll back and forth between all these tabs. We'll be sharing even more foot details in the upcoming launch update pitch notes and on our social channels, so be sure to keep an eye out for that. So I guess that wraps up these pitch notes here, guys. I think we got a lot out of this. I mean, the main things, the gauntlet and the tournament and the adjustments to gameplay and the way you're going to have to build out your club to play these different modes. I think is an absolute game changer. I'm super excited for this. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. But guys, that is going to be it for this video. If you did enjoy it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.